Brock Lesnar made a shocking return to WWE at SummerSlam, taking out John Cena, but there has been a lot of things said about his return, from the Janelle Brandt stuff when he was cleared, the backstage report from Fightful. But there's also one thing that no one is talking about, and that's what we are going to be talking about in today's video, because I feel like it's flying under the radar and it needs to be discussed. So Lesnar, he returned at SummerSlam after not being on WWE television for over 18 months. The reason? Well, he was named in the lawsuit against WWE, Vince McMahon, and John Laurinaitis from Janelle Grant, alleging sexual trafficking, among other things. Keep in mind that Lesnar is not a defendant in this lawsuit and isn't accused of those horrific actions. Instead, he was just named in it, okay? He never even met Janelle Grant. Yet, he's been on WWE TV since early 2024. The lawsuit was filed in January, therefore WWE pulled him from the Royal Rumble and nixed a awesome WrestleMania feud that would have been with Gunther. Now, a source told Fightful at the time that Lesnar was not going to be back anytime soon. WWE and 2K went to the time and the expense of removing him from WWE 2K 24, 25. Now, throughout 2024, Fightful was told at the time there was no real conversations regarding Lesnar returning as of then, and he remained under contract with WWE. Now, here's where things get interesting. Fightful was told on Saturday that the main event with John Cena and Cody Rhodes was being kept very quiet, even from writers, producer, staff, and production crew. As of that evening, a number of those same people still hadn't heard anything about Lesnar and wondering if it was about The Rock. It's believed that Lesnar was flown into Minnesota and then sent on a private jet to make it to New Jersey. Some of the staff, they started making way for Lesnar near the stage about, an hour or so before the main event. Now, Lesnar, he got there at 9:15 Eastern during the main event, okay? And some sources backstage said that they could kind of tell something was up regarding how people weren't saying as to, what they usually say and how they usually do things and everything like this, right? Now, Dave Meltzer is reporting that Brock Lesnar was cleared by WWE's legal team about 4 weeks ago, and that they kept this really under wraps. He's obviously going to be working with John Cena, considering Lesnar came out there after John Cena dropped the WWE Championship to Cody Rhodes. He had his moment in the sun. He was turned back to being a babyface on Friday Night SmackDown with his promo. He worked a babyface style in this match, and I thought he did phenomenal. Here's the thing that I don't think people are talking about. You have to keep in mind that this is John Cena's retirement year. He is on his retirement tour. And in addition to working with some newer talent, for the most part, he is hitting his greatest hits. Okay. Think about who he's worked with and how they've designed this. So the Royal Rumble, he comes out. They had to do that because it's the last Royal Rumble. Getting to WrestleMania, he fell short. He works with some newer stars, with some older stars. Fast forward, Elimination Chamber. Same thing. He works with a handful of stars, but mostly it's guys he's worked with in the past. He wins that match. And he works a new program with Cody Rhodes. They have a god awful WrestleMania match. And then he starts to work with who? Randy Orton, R-Truth, CM Punk, guys that he is used to, guys that he has had either historic feuds or notable feuds, memorable feuds. Regardless, it's his greatest hits, right? It's so different from when you go to a concert and you see a band that's been around for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. What do? They don't play the latest, greatest album or the latest album they just put out. They hit the greatest hits, right? They play the songs you know. Well, what is WWE doing with John Cena? He's working with guys of his greatest hits. Brock Lesnar is on that, right? Brock Lesnar, their history goes back to OVW. Their history goes back to getting called up to the main roster in 02, 03, having a breakout year in 03, right? When Lesnar returned to WWE, who did he first work with? John Cena. When Lesnar returned from hiatus at SummerSlam 2021, who did he lay out? John Cena. Who did Brock Lesnar lay out in his return right now? John Cena. John Cena is working with guys he knows, working with star power, and working with guys that he has a history with. Triple H talked about on the press, well, it's not a press conference no more, but it's a post show about how, when they're working with, when they're trying to plan out things for John Cena, who he's going to work with, what kind of appearances is he going to make, what's he going to do, where's he going to appear, all that good stuff. They go over who he wants to work with, right? Now, John Cena has said in the past that he doesn't pick his opponents, he doesn't ask for his opponents, but I don't believe that, right? I think John Cena was involved in backstage politics. I think he's still involved in backstage politics. I think he works with. You can't tell me in John Cena's retirement tour that he doesn't have a say in who he works with, right? I think the fact is Lesnar. It was almost a perfect storm. I don't think John Cena is the reason that Brock Lesnar is back in WWE. I think WWE looks at it and goes, okay, Lesnar, he's named in the lawsuit. He's not being, there's not a lawsuit filed against him. There's no proof that he did anything in connection with Janelle Grant. And it's not a coincidence that literally they just canceled doing post-show press conferences with the actual media. Because that Triple H coming in there, he was going to be bombarded with questions regarding Brock Lesnar, Janelle Grant, and the lawsuit, right? So you put all these things together. I think part, not mainly, but I think part of the reason why Brock Lesnar was returned, he made his return to WWE, is because of John Cena. He is part of the greatest hits. And now I still think Gunther is going to retire John Cena at the end of this year. John Cena has 9 appearances left, 4 of which is in the United States, 3 of which is international. He's going to wrap up Saturday Night's Main Event in December. That is a rumor. I think it's going to be Gunther. Brock Lesnar returning, working with John Cena. I don't have a problem with it. Obviously, it's 2 major names. It's 2 major stars. They'll be going at it. They'll be colliding. But I just don't think it's a coincidence that Lesnar returned and worked with John Cena right away. Right? I think there's more to that. I think it's part of, let's just keep the greatest hits coming. Brock Lesnar, huge moment in John Cena's career, a huge foe, a rival. And I think that's where they went with this. And I don't knock them for this. I understand the return of Brock Lesnar is controversial. I do not see a benefit from having Brock Lesnar on your television show regarding in relation to this situation with Janelle Brandt and the lawsuit and everything like that. But you also have to keep in mind that Lesnar was not accused by Janelle Brandt of doing anything wrong. Now, was there intention? Yes. She sent some stuff to him? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's not the same as a Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis thing. I don't condone it. I don't think they should have brought him back. It tarnishes his legacy. But at the end of the day, WWE, they don't care. They feel like, hey, Brock Lesnar's return, it's going to make headlines. It's going to add to John Cena's return. It's going to make, social media engagement, YouTube engagement go through the roof, right? It's going to pop a number when he probably appears on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown or whenever. At the end of the day, they felt like it was a justifiable move. I do not. But they do. And it's their company. So WWE, TKO, they're going to do that.